John Madison.
Here.
Anthony Rotunda.
Here.
Jeffrey Wolf.
Here.
Dr. Swillow.
Here.
Richard Barone.
Here.
In compliance with the Open Publics Meeting Act, Chapter 231, I hereby state that adequate notice of this special meeting has been provided to the public in written notice dated July 15, 2016. The meeting notice has been posted on bulletin boards located inside the school buildings and board of education office, communicated to at least one board designated newspaper, filed with the Borough Clerk of Palisades Park. I don't have any statements. Minute approval for June 15th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Maria Alvarez.
Yes.
Paul Kim.
Yes.
Ken Bruno.
Yes.
Howard Donovan.
Yes.
Jason Kim.
Yes.
John Madison.
Yes.
Anthony Rotunda.
Yes.
Jeffrey Wolf.
Yes.
Report of the board attorney? I'm sorry, superintendent.
Guys, I have two things. As mentioned at our last meeting on June 29th, I did meet with the curriculum committee. Mr. Rotundo, Mr. Kim, and Ms. Alvarez were available. We all met in my office to discuss, I guess, what was a major concern at our last meeting with regard to the world language restructuring. I think the three board members that were present understand what direction that I would like to lead the district in with regard to world language. I would tell you that it was a very productive meeting. And at our August meeting, all curriculum that will be approved and adopted for September, inclusive of the world language recommendation, will be presented to the public. Second, I do need to ask that we go into closed session for two separate matters, and formal action will be taken after one of them with regard to bullying. Thank you.
Report of the board attorney?
No report.
Report of the committees, finance, Mr. Matizich?
Before you, you have 10 resolutions. I move on a consent agenda on all 10.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Maria Alvarez.
Yes.
Paul Kim.
Yes.
Ken Bruno.
Yes.
Howard Donovan.
Yes.
Jason Kim.
Yes.
John Madison.
Yes.
Anthony Rotunda.
Yes.
Jeffrey Wolf.
Yes.
Buildings and ground, Mr. Donovan?
Yes, before you have two resolutions for use of the high school gym by Garden State Kendall Alliance and use of the Lindbergh Field for the annual police national night out. I recommend that I move that the board approve both.
Second it.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Maria Alvarez.
Yes.
Paul Kim.
Yes.
Ken Bruno.
Yes.
Howard Donovan.
Yes.
Jason Kim.
Yes.
John Madison.
Yes.
Anthony Rotunda.
Yes.
Jeffrey Wolf.
Yes.
Personnel, Mr. Wu?
Yes, before you are 6 resolutions. I make a motion that we move on all 6.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just to make sure, Victor didn't teach biology, so make.
He has two certs. The second cert, he will be teaching earth science, as Christina was. So his cert should have been a double cert.
And then under the substitutes, is it Matt or mate?
That's his spelling is mate,
Oh.
pronounced Matt.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yep.
I looked at it earlier, I thought it might be.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
Christina Montemiro, in relations with our board secretary.
No,
Okay. Tim Marie Fiscano, I believe she is, we elected her as works for the administrative office.
excuse me?
Tim Marie
Yes.
Fiscano.
Yes.
What is her job description as administrative offices?
So she is a 10-month employee with the transition and Ms. Gillis leaving the district. She has assumed more responsibilities. She is actually doing payroll as we speak, which is not technically a business administrator job, but has been done by Lala for 24 years. And I think it behooves us to start divvying up more and more of the responsibilities. So I think teaching Tim Marie some more responsibilities with regard to payroll is imperative.
Okay, so her responsibility is doing payrolls and what else?
As of right now, that's what she's concentrating on 2 days a week.
Okay, great. Lala left us officially?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. When is
No.
her last day?
She is effective until August 31st. She has scheduled vacations prior to her resignation. So I do not know, her last day on paper is August 31.
Thank you.
Anything further? Roll call?
Julie Alvarez?
Yes.
Bill Camp?
Yes.
Ed Bruno?
Yes.
Howard Hagenga?
Yes.
Jason Kim?
Yes.
John Matison?
Yes.
Anthony Rotundo?
Yes.
Jeffrey Wolf?
Yes.
Curriculum, Mr. Jason Kim?
Oh, we don't have anything for today.
Negotiations, Mr. Paul Kim?
Currently, we have two negotiations at hand, which one would be the Teamsters and the other is the teachers, and it's ongoing. That's all. Thank you.
Policy, Mr. Rotundo?
In front of you, we'll be doing the first reading of policies 4211 and 4231, and point, with and without the point one. We're just making small changes to the wording of it. And we're also going to be doing the reading next August on the policy 5114, which is on, I believe, suspension and expulsion.
Yeah, we actually shared that with our building principals to see if we wanted to make it more appropriate with our own building officers. So we will have input from them.
We're not taking action on this today, we're just reading.
Correct.
First reading. I think we still need a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
This is for the first reading, correct?
Yes.
Julie Alvarez?
She said special meeting.
And we might have to do it again as a first reading.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I should have at the beginning of this. Your policy said you can only adopt and even introduce policies at a regularly scheduled meeting of the board. This is a special meeting. We've never, well, shouldn't say that. I think we figured out you've had 2 July meetings in the last 10 years. This is a special meeting, so this has to be put on. I believe August was advertised when you advertised all the meetings for the year.
No, both July and August were to be
Then
determined.
that's also a special meeting, so you can't do this until September.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's the first reading, so just disregard that one, Annie.
I'll table this
Sorry.
until September and reintroduce it.
Okay.
I was sleeping, I'm sorry.
PTA, PTSA student activity, Ms. Wang is not here, Mr. Jason Kim.
Yeah, I have nothing to report this particular time.
Calendar and food, Mr. Matisich.
Nothing. I'm sorry.
Okay, New Jersey School Board's liaison, Mr. Bruno.
No report for the summer.
Any old business? If not, new business? New business? Right, audience participation?
Make a motion to open for audience participation.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Yes.
Oh, hi, Nancy Andrade. I was just looking on the list for the ETC, and there, I think there's a misspelling here for the Serena Stroller, and it's down as Diane Ryan and Serena Ryan, but. I
Okay, we'll
just-
amend that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay.
Some personnel.
Anything further from the audience?
Just wondering, are we going to be hiring any maintenance people to work in our school system? Anytime soon? I am the only maintenance person hired for maintenance in Palisades Park School System. And it's really starting to get me, I'm getting white hair over it. I tell you, it's getting scary. We have 3 buildings. One is going, in 10 more years, will be 100 years old. The other school was built in 1968. And maintenance is a big concern of mine. And unless we start doing something now, there's no way the school's gonna stay open this year. Because we're gonna have breakdowns that are unbelievable. One person cannot do maintenance in this district. When we had 27 full-time custodian and maintenance staff, 6 of those, that staff was maintenance men working in 2 buildings. Now we have 3 buildings. I'm all there is. It's starting to get scary.
I can answer it if you want. I think it's fair to say that, you know, in the conversations, when the board was meeting with the Teamsters, my recommendation to the board was that the custodians that have been performing maintenance responsibilities have a slash in their title. I think when they're capable and competent. Joe, I don't disagree.
That's my problem, capable and competent. That's, we have one or two that are.
Well, again, I didn't say all of them would be.
No, I'm not, this is my.
One or two is better than one by yourself, Joe.
I agree with you, like I said, but we need to do something, especially, even with the negotiations on this contract. We have, what, 6 new people in the union?
7 total
Seven.
Teamsters,
Seven
correct.
total Teamsters. And that all happened last November, I believe? it
Correct.
was? And we've had 2 meetings with the Teamsters since that time, so in like 9
But when you say
months-
2 meetings with the Teamsters, that's something on your end that you chose to join that association? I
I
know
know.
tonight, for example, board members
No, I
were
didn't.
available.
I didn't choose to join that. I was forced to join the Teamsters in 1989 when I joined the Palisades Park School System when I first came here. I had 1 year to get, well, I had to be in the Teamsters first day. It was a 90-day probation, and then I was in the Teamsters. I didn't have no choice. Being a 40-hour worker, I had to be in the Teamsters, so I had to pay my dues to the Teamsters. I was laid off in 1994. Came back to the school system in 1998, and 10 years ago, I was put back in 40-hour work. Again, I worked 40 hours. I am a Teamster, I was a Teamster in 94 when I left. When I came back and went back to a 40-hour work in the Palisades Park school system, I had to join the Teamsters. But for some reason, it took the Board of Education almost 10 years to get me a form to fill out. And I was asking, you know that every month. I asked, then Dr. Hayes, I've asked Lala, I've asked every person in the board office for that. I received it a month before the rest of the people were put into the Teamsters. They were given the same card that I was to fill out. I should have been, being that I had a withdrawal card from the Teamsters Union, when I was back on 40-hour standard, I was in the Teamsters Union. But for some reason, the board never seemed to want to do the paperwork. I say 10 years, I was in limbo. I was told by the shop steward that I was in the union. And 3 or 4 months prior to me getting the paperwork for this, I was told by the shop steward, well, you know, we're in the union anyway, but I'm not gonna go fight for you because then I'll lose my job, is what I was told. So I'm a little ticked off at the union too, for having such an idiot shop steward. But
Joe, were there dues being taken out of your pay as a member?
no, I don't get checks. We get everything goes into, on the computer. We don't get checks.
You get a stub.
You get a
You
stub.
get stuff, yeah. I never really looked at it because I expected the Board of Education to be doing what they should do.
The
Like I
stub
said,
will tell you
according to the
exactly
contract,
what the
so I went
deductions
back
are.
to 40 hours after 8 weeks, 40 hours. I haven't been on the team. I'm just wondering if, like I say.
Joe, no offense, but I work with you personally every day, and I think we both know there are many frustrations that we endure, and we're
Yes.
trying to make it better. No one has a crystal ball, and I'm
I'm
not,
agreeing with you 100%.
But Joe, we're
because
trying-
you're working as hard as you can.
Joe,
I need to at least work with the Teamsters. get them
correct, Joe,
to-
and I want you to know that I went above and beyond with regard
I
to
see
trying to get
that.
Patrick
I
to the
see
table.
that.
And the fact that I can't get a meeting because your rep, your union rep
We
wasn't
haven't-
available,
I found out today we went back to the young lady that was.
Jill Pittman is now
Jill
again.
Pittman is
The
going
email
to-
I received last night was that she should be on correspondence, but he still is going to be negotiating for you. Until he's available to meet at the table, it was the advice of the attorney that the board wasn't meeting. Now, whether you guys remain in the union or not, that's your choice.
Joe, if you want to be the messenger, what I said to Joe when he called me about that is, the union has told us Patrick is our representative.
Okay.
We legally, under labor law, cannot meet with the individual people even as a
No,
group.
I'm not-
However,
not asking.
if your group turned around and said, look, we are now taking it away, the teachers have done it with their rep from UNISERV, they've said, no, they're out of it, but I just need something saying that we're now negotiating on our own, it's not Patrick, it's not Jill, it's nobody else, then I can meet with you guys.
Well, I would like to speak to Jill on it, being that I just found out, like I said, today about this. And, also, you know, our contract was up in 2010. And it's time to do something about it. It's a long time, and like I said, honestly, I had no choice. I started the Teamsters, like I say, back in 1989. When was the first hire here, my dues came out of my first paycheck, and, you know, we were in, and this was the way the board set it up. I figured the board, you know, myself, I'm not gonna check everything that was due, but when I was rehired 40 hours by this board, when I came here, when I came back on here, I expected that it was just, you know, I had a withdrawal card from the Teamsters, which meant that as soon as I started working again 40 hours, I was back in the union.
Just for the public's edification, it's not that the custodians have been without a contract since 2010. There was only one person in the Teamsters at that point. You're absolutely right about the Teamsters contract, but everybody else was not in the
I should
Teamsters.
have been in it prior to that. That's what
I'm
that's
not
why
aware of
my
that.
question. And there was two prior to that. You had Carmine Rudicki until he
Right.
retired.
Right.
He was in the union. That's it.
Joe, I will also be in touch with Jill, and in the event that you guys would like to meet, I know the board is available. They live in town. They've made concessions before.
You know, you can't keep me out of here.
Listen,
I'm here when I'm supposed
Joe,
to.
my advice is, again, I know the association was willing to meet tonight, but unless you guys waived the right for Patrick to be there,
Well, I
is
spoke
that
to-
fair to say?
Oh,
No one was gonna meet
I
with you?
spoke to Patrick last Thursday. He just got back from his vacation.
Correct.
And he told me that we have a meeting for it today at 5:30.
Today at 5:30.
Until he canceled that in writing with
I'm
me.
just saying, this is what the last I spoke to.
Yeah.
And then I said, but honestly, we do need, you know, I don't want to preach it around it, it's just, we have to get something done.
Thank you.
Anyone else? We'll close audience participation.
Make a motion to close.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have to go into close, and then there'll be action taken after that.
Make a motion to